Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, the podcast, as always, hosted by me, Chris. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 344. I have a great guest for you today. Of course, I got to shop that talking that shop. If you'd like to keep up with everything that I'm doing online, Twitter and Instagram is the best place to do that. Both are at Casting for Two. And however you're listening to this podcast on whatever service that you like, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Stitcher. Did I say Stitcher? However you're listening to it, feel free to leave me a comment, leave me a review, let me know how I'm doing. I would really appreciate that. The more stars that I see, the better, right? That's what they say, right? But yeah, so if you wanted to do that, I'd super appreciate it. But yeah, so, and I should talk about my guests for today. Well, this is the shortest intro. I'm not even a whole lot of time wasted. I'm kind of amazed with myself. But my guest today is he's from North Carolina, but he lives in Portland, and we all know how much of an Oregon boy I am. He's in the band called De La Noche, and they have a new album out right now called Blue Days, Black Nights. Ivan Howard is here, and this album is great. It's available right now for download, or go into a record store, pick it up on vinyl. It's a wonderful album, and Ivan's a super cool dude. And I said it in the middle of our chat, but really, this album's all about baby making. It really is. It gives me those feels. It's a nice, sexy album, and I think you all are going to enjoy it. But I got to stop talking because we got to get into this episode, all right? So sit back, relax, and Chris, cue the music, please.
Hey Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm great.
Nice. What do you? Which coast are you on?
I'm in Portland, Oregon right now.
So do you live in Oregon?
I do, yeah. You're from Oregon, right?
I am from Salem, yeah.
Oh wow. You don't live here now, though, right?
I wish, man. No, I live in Texas now.
Gotcha. Well, Texas got some good parts.
Nah, not really, but yeah. No, I do wish I was in Oregon though. That's my home.
Yeah. North Carolina is my original home, so I miss that a lot, also.
So what brought you out to Oregon?
I have a relationship.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I've been here about 6 years now.
Oh, okay.
Off and on. Yeah, did LA for a year, and but I dig it. I mean, It's amazing. If the coast was hotter, it would be the most crowded spot in America. Yeah, beautiful out there.
The coast was always fun to go to. But it's so windy.
Yeah, I mean, it's cold and windy,
yeah.
Scary.
Whenever I encounter people in Texas, and they always say, "Hey, what's it like in Oregon?" The first thing I do is I say, "Okay, YouTube Oregon coast / whale," and
the blown up well.
Exactly. That's the first thing I
Yeah,
always tell people. Yeah,
yeah,
just because it's so dumb, but it's so hilarious.
that's funny. Yeah, I used to surf a lot, in North Carolina. Everybody's always like, "Do you surf in Oregon?" And I'm like, "Not really. It's a little scary." But I was like, the end of Point Break, right? Where Patrick Swayze goes into the water. That's Oregon. That
It-
cove.
it-
I mean, it's
it-
really a wide wave, but in Oregon.
right.
It's a cove that I really like a lot.
I
Short
and
fan.
and then I just remember all the time, all the news stations watch out for driftwood because that'll get you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, yeah. Now I've never experienced driftwood, but just growing up, it was just
Yeah,
stay away. It'll get you. It'll bite you. I'm like, all right.
yeah, I believe it.
But so I'm curious. When did you find your particular bug? And when did you know music was something you want to pursue?
You know, I, it's a weird story. Maybe I was 21 years old by the time I've always loved music and always sang along. My mom, she made some independent country records, and
Mm.
I was always around it, and always, but I played basketball in college, and that was kind of my thing growing up. And then I got hurt,
Mm-hmm.
broke a couple of arms at the same time, and met some really interesting people my first week of orientation, and they were all kind of like punk indie kids,
Mm-hmm.
from out of state, and we just kind of bonded over music. And that's when I sort of really started getting into it. One of them taught me how to play guitar, some power chords. And then the rest is just like kind of been fumbling my way ever since.
Okay, and so so you learn how to play guitar and all that jazz. When do you actually just start like, hey, I need to write music or lyrics? Well, let me backtrack. Does that stuff come naturally for you?
Uh, I mean, not really.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was, I didn't realize it, but I used to ride around on a bicycle and sing out loud to my old Walkman.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't know if people could hear me. I wasn't thinking about it. But some people on campus heard me singing who had a band, and it's actually one of the De La Noche guys. And he was like, "Heard you could sing. We need a singer." And I was like, "I'll try." He's like, "Why do you want to sing?" And I was like, "I kind of like the Let Love Rule record by Lenny Kravitz,
Yeah.
So I sang one of those songs, and he was like, "All right, you're a singer." So we practiced for like 6 months, and I just never could write words. It was kind of like funk, reggae music, like every freshman, college band is. And,
Right.
just smoked a whole lot of weed and just never could write lyrics. So I quit, went back home, re-enrolled in college, played basketball for a couple of years, and then I came back to the same town, and I was like, you know what? Let's actually write some songs in like the vein of music we actually like,
Mm-hmm.
And then it just kind of became natural. Just somebody needed a singer, I sang. You need words and co-wrote, with my friends, and then just been kind of learning ever since. Lyrics are still pretty hard just because I care. I'm trying not to care about lyrics because a lot of people really don't listen to them, but but the songs I connected to growing up, I subconsciously the lyrics meant a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I know they're important, Yeah.
Okay. And now I'm trying to piece the De La Noche together.
Yeah, man.
It's a whole band. It's you and a couple other cats.
Right, yeah.
What?
We're they Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go on.
Yeah, they live in North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been friends for 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
but we never made a record together till now. One of the guys, Brian Weeks, he toured in the Rosebuds
Mm.
with me and in my other Howard Isaac band for a while. And those guys kind of wrote these songs and needed a singer, and I was like, you guys don't need me. They're really good. Just get Robert, the guy who wrote most of the music and lyrics, to sing them.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, look, I'll sing one, and then we'll see how it goes. And then they sent me the songs, and I kind of fell in love with them. I was like, man, this is an honor to sing these songs, you know.
Yeah.
Then kind of worked with them together to finish them up and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. And so, for you've been in a band for with people you've known for 20 years. Was there a lot of times where you were changing the style, whether like the style of the music you were playing, or was it always this particular style that you had on the record that you're releasing?
It's, you mean my career, or these sets of songs of the De La Noche?
Let's go with De La Noche.
Yeah, it was a little more organic before this. Our first show was a few years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
we had a live drummer. At that time, they practiced with a lot, and acoustic and sax and all this, and
Mm-hmm.
it was more. Brian, the guitar player, has been writing a lot of songs and different styles, his whole life, and so it didn't kind of morph into this exact sound until Robert started writing too.
Mm.
And it kind of came because now you're using them, Logic, the laptop,
Right.
different kinds of, sounds, and it just kind of lends itself to that style. Yeah.
Okay. And so when you were doing the new album, was it, you mentioned all the guys were in Carolina. Did you have to go over there and record with them, or since computers and whatnot, did you stay over there and just record your bits?
I did. Yeah, we postal serviced it up.
Oh, okay.
So they would send them to me. I would record my vocals here, make changes, and send them back. Or if they wanted another change, and they would send them back, and I would make them. Then we'd be like, hey, I think there should be a sax solo here instead of the vocal line. So we'd call my buddy Matt, and he would lay a sax down in his home studio. So, I think we had like 4 studios going on this record.
That's always nice where, nowadays, like it's nice and then it's not for like recording studios, but it is nice having the convenience of, look, I'm in my PJs. I don't want to go to a recording studio. I got my mic.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah, I mean, that's very nice. Yeah, going into recording studios to record one vocal take is pretty tough, So, yeah.
And
as long as it sounds good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that as long as you can actually hear me, that's
right.
That's the goal, right?
Yep.
And so I was listening to the new album earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope, I don't know if I'm the first person to say this, but I hope I am. There's going to be a lot of babies being made during this album. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, got to do our part. Keep the world overcrowded.
No, it had an awesome throwback 80s, maybe early 90s kind of feel for me that I was just like, okay, I'm digging this.
Yeah, that's kind of what I liked about it too. Like when I got to that song, I was like, man, these feel good. I described it like it's kind of singing on a greatest hits set, but nobody's ever heard the songs, and I was like, oh, I get to sing these songs. Except Return of the Mac. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. I've always loved that song. I mean, like, you know, Sade and stuff that feels that way. I never knew how to make it. I always tried, but just couldn't get there.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys, you know, accidentally got there with me. So it's pretty amazing that way.
There you go. And so, do you have any future plans with, you know, the release, or will you be touring and all that jazz?
Yeah, we're going to do some small scale touring. We got a couple of shows in North Carolina, and then we're going to do a West Coast tour in December. It coincides with the label that's putting it out, have a festival in the Joshua Tree. So we're gonna do that. It's kind of hard for this group of guys to tour. The other two guys are both English professors. You know, one of them has kids. So when we have to like take our shows, we can't just get in a van like the old days. Burn it.
And do you have a quote unquote, you know, full-time adultish job?
I don't. Yeah, I've been.
Okay.
You know, I've been touring full time for like 18 years now in the other bands. And do a lot of film and TV licenses. But recently, I went back to school.
Oh, okay.
You know, yeah.
Wait.
Trying.
Which school?
Go ahead.
Which school are you going to?
Oh, actually, I'm going to like Portland Community College and taking computer design classes. Yeah.
I was about to make fun of you if you were going to be a Viking. No offense.
I thought about being a Viking, actually. It was just like, man, I don't want to go to school for 2 more years. I already have a lot of school. You know?
Yeah.
Did you go to Oregon State?
Oregon State. Well, no, I didn't go there, but like my allegiance is Oregon State University. It's so weird. I know it by OSU.
Yeah.
But they dropped dropped the U, and now I always get thrown off. Like, yeah, Oregon State.
They got the best colors anyway.
You know, it was just that thing growing up. You had to pick a side. And the Duck fans were always more angrier and show-offy, and the Beavers would lose every football game, and I'm just like, that's my team right there. That's the school I want to align with.
Yeah, I remember that. You know, growing up in North Carolina, like everybody was a UNC fan, which automatically made me not like UNC. So when I was young, you know, the first team in the conference was Duke.
Yeah.
But then they got really good. So, you know, a lot of my friends are Duke fans because we were when we were kids. It's kind of like the anti-UNC, but also anti-NC State because a lot of rednecks in that one. But, you know, I still like State.
But so you mentioned that, you know, touring was a huge chunk of your life. I gotta think that you have a gig horror story.
I mean, you know, not a lot of horror stories. Got a lot of good stories. We, you know, did the majority of touring with the Rosebuds, and we were pretty lucky. I actually heard that your podcast with Eric from Say Hi. You know, with the dog. They crapped all over the floor.
Yeah.
Jumped on them one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happened to us one day. I remember that. It was like an after show. We asked to stay at somebody's house. And I'll never forget it in Columbia, South Carolina. And so we get to the house, and while we were at the show, the person's dog had crapped all over the floor. You know, so it smelled bad, but we didn't get it all over. So like, between that smell and then there was no air conditioning, it was like 90 degrees, and then one of their roommates was like throwing up the whole night.
Oh, jeez.
It was the weirdest thing. That's one of the, you know, I guess the worst stories, but we kind of got really lucky with that aspect. Kind of played it a little. We had a lot of friends in every city.
Yeah.
So, you know, got lucky that way. And we started when we were a little older. So by the time I didn't start touring until I was like 28 or something. So by that time, all your college friends or adult friends had houses or places to stay, you know. But I'm sure there's other stories that I blocked out of my mind.
It,
you know.
yeah, it definitely is nice, you know, getting older because I mean that need to go partying is just like I was I'm on Instagram of course, and I watch all this kid's, you know, like birthday weekend, and I'm just, oh my god, like I just want to have like a lunch and then call it good.
Oh yeah, that's how I am now. I mean, I did plenty of partying for 10 years, you know. But it's pretty bad now, though. Like, I can't, you know, you get older, it's hard to drink.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't want to waste the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, it's all right. We're all old. It's okay.
Yeah. Like last night I went to like a Chaka Khan, Michael McDonald show. It's at the Oregon Zoo, and like last time I went to a show there, it wasn't crowded. It was like a Charles Bradley show. It was nice and relaxed.
Yeah.
But this time it was like completely sold out. You get there at like 5:30. The show doesn't start till 7, and so I literally told my wife, I was like, I don't want to be here. I want to go home. Lay on the couch. So we just left the show. I was like, this is not worth it. You know, I'm not partying. I'm not like, I would love to see that in a different setting. That's about my temperament for, you know, things. Sometimes I bend the rules.
No, I get it. I mean, couch is comfortable, man. I get it.
It is. I mean, life's hard, man. You got a couch. I will use it.
But for the people at home who would like to pick up the album when it's out or follow you guys online, where can they do all that?
Yeah, they can, you know, the album when it comes out, it'll be on iTunes and Spotify, but, you know, De La Noche music at Bandcamp is a good spot to get it, you know. And then it has a chance to actually be in your local record store. You can always go into your record store and order it. You know, we're printing vinyls and all that jazz. So you never know.
Awesome. Ivan, thank you so much for chatting with me.
Man.
I'll let you go enjoy that Pacific North Coast weather of hoodies and shorts and sandals.
All right. Hey, what up, theme music? Yeah. I got my sandals on right now.
Yeah.
Hey, what theme music are you playing this week? I like your Person Sledge, and I like your shout out loud too.
Thank you. Well, so the theme music changes yearly.
Got you.
So
Person Sledge.
Oh yeah, it's going to be there for a whole year until whatever song I come stumbling onto.
Cool, until the De La Noche theme song. I like it.
Exactly. I mean, look, if you wanted to make me a baby making theme song, I'm not going to say no to that.
We'll get right on it. All right, bye.
All right, have a good one.
You too. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.